Okay, so my name is Maya Lloyd. I'm the Student Career Program Manager for the Offices of Experiential Learning and Career Services. Today, we will be hearing about an internship opportunity with Trust for America's Health, which is a nonprofit, nonpartisan public health policy, research, and advocacy organization, located in Washington, D.C. After this recording or after the event, you will get a link to the recording as well as a post-event email with any resources that are shared here today. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to our presenter, Tim Hughes.
Great. Thanks, Maya. So as Maya mentioned, I'm with Trust for America's Health. I am our external relations and outreach manager on our communications and policy research team. And one of the things I oversee is our internship program across the organization. So, to give you a little bit more background on TIFA, as Maya mentioned, we are a national nonprofit, nonpartisan policy advocacy communications organization. Most of our work is focused at the federal level, so working with the administration and Congress to advance policies that improve public health. And then we also do some state level work as well. And it spans a few different bucket areas. So in terms of the communications and policy research end, we're really well known for our anchor reports. Those topics include emergency preparedness and infectious disease, chronic disease specifically related to obesity, public health funding, and then mental health as it relates to drug, alcohol, and suicide abuse. That's a majority of our work that is on the federal level. And then we're looking at how states are performing. And so state health departments use those reports a lot to inform their work as well. Our government relations team uses what we put out in those reports, our policy recommendations, and then they're working through coalitions and meeting with the federal agencies and meeting with members of Congress and their staff to educate them on those issue areas and to build support for those policy recommendations. We then have our policy development team as well, and that more so is some of our technical assistance work and working with the states. Some of that is focused on age-friendly public health and working with state health departments and offices of aging to integrate their work more and advance an age-friendly public health system. And then looking at social determinants of health policy for issues related to our promoting health and cost control in states level work. So things like complete street policies, economic policies that have a health implication, they're working to inform strategies around that, which then further help think about the priority areas we focus on longer term here. We offer internships within each of the departments, and the work is somewhat similar across, right, where, essentially it's kind of entry level, helping with the various research projects. It might involve, like with the GR internship, sitting in and listening on hearings and sharing notes to keep staff updated on what's happening on various issue areas, assisting with webinars and the report writing on our communications and policy research team, and then with the policy development team, assisting with those technical assistants and putting together fact sheets, meeting notes. Um, our internships typically run for about 3 months. We have internships in the spring, summer, and fall. And depending on the timeline, there's an opportunity for the internship to extend a second semester depending on, when you start with us and how performance is going. Let's see. Our internships are hybrid, so it does require our interns to be present in Washington, D.C. We are able to fill practicum requirements, which I know, Maya, we've discussed in the past with that. So, we can definitely do a number of opportunities and meet, right, the lessons, not lessons, but meet the requirements that students are looking to fulfill their degrees. So want to pause there and see if there are specific questions I can answer.
Tim, can you talk about the application process for the internships?
Yep. So we are getting ready to open up our spring application here. It will go live sometime next week. But the way it works is we post our internship postings onto our website at tifa.org, and then promote it through various social channels. LinkedIn, we post a handshake. The application process consists of submitting your resume and cover letter, and a brief writing sample. And I will emphasize the cover letter. We have had applications in the past where intern applicants do not submit. We do take the cover letter seriously. So part of it is following the instructions as outlined. If you strongly want to be considered, we will pass on people who do not submit cover letter. And then the review process consists of each of the department heads, who will be the supervisor, review the applications. So as I mentioned, we have an intern supervisor for communications and policy research, a supervisor for the government relations team, and then a supervisor for the policy development. Depending on which of the internships you are applying for, that individual is reviewing for first rounds and then scheduling first round interviews with each of the interns. And then after first rounds, usually we invite per department about 2 candidates to meet with our executive vice president for final round interviews. So in the case of the spring internship, as I mentioned, we're looking to open up that application period next week. First round interviews taking place around early to mid-November, with final round interviews taking place in early to mid-December, and aiming to have those final decisions made by the week before Christmas for our spring internship.
And a few questions from the registration were about like what would give someone, a competitive edge when it comes to the application process. What should they, well, you talked about the cover letters, which I think is extremely important. So thank you for
Yeah.
pointing that out. But is there anything else that, the hiring committee really looks for when they are looking at applications?
Yep. So again, it kind of varies a little bit across the departments and which one you're specifically applying for. So as an example, if you're really interested, in government relations work, if you're able to highlight any sort of experience that you have, around policy, if you've interned on the Hill before, or even just with like your elected official's office in your respective districts, those are always good things to highlight. We look for strong writing skills, research skills, uh, public health. So we're obviously looking for people with interest areas in public health. And if you can draw to certain things that we're working on that you're interested in, those are strong as well. And then just say, right, in terms of like searching and things, always looking for interns who are looking to grow and develop their skill set. We know this internship is a learning opportunity, and so we try to create that space for our interns to take advantage of being in Washington, D.C. and the events that are happening around, and we'll do like intern brown bag lunches, educational presentations, but also looking for interns who want to take initiative, and can articulate what they're hoping to get out of the internship, and skill sets that they want to develop. That's always a good thing to be able to highlight in your cover letter, but also in your intern interviews as well.
Thank you. If anyone else has questions, please feel free to either put them in the chat or you can come off mute. I think my next question is just about career trajectory as well. Like, do you typically see interns going on, to other employment opportunities within TIFA, or, what does that look like? And then I see that there is a question in the chat for you too.
Yep. Yeah. So in terms of career trajectory, TIFA is a small organization. As I mentioned, we're a nonprofit, and so it really depends on our funding. So it's not to say that it's not possible for interns to have an employment opportunity with TIFA. It just kind of depends on what are the roles that open up. We have had interns at TIFA who are now employees. I'm one of them. My colleague, Kevin McIntyre, on our GR team, who is actually the GR intern supervisor, is also another one. But that was a situation where Kevin interned at TIFA, went on to go work at another organization, and then eventually came back. But TIFA is well known in the public health advocacy space. We have strong networks, and so we're able to refer people for opportunities, connect them to other hiring organizations. And we've had our interns go on to do great things. My most recent intern for our communications and policy research, right now she is interning at the Baltimore County Public Health Department. And I'm actually now working on a recommendation letter for her for a epidemiology fellowship over at California Department of Public Health. So it's the network that you're getting here. You're getting a strong network that you can tap into for your future career opportunities here. To the question on do we offer any housing stipend? So our internships are paid depending on what level you're coming in at, if it's undergrad or graduate. There are some various hourly levels. Right now, and we are exploring potentially changing this cost, but as of right now, undergrad interns are paid $18.50 an hour. Graduate interns are paid $21 an hour. We do not have any sort of formal housing partnership set up, but there are tons of opportunities, right? Group housing, things like that, that you can search for. And so then let's come back to that with the hourly rate. The internships, in terms of hours, it's usually anywhere from about 20 to 30 hours max a week. 30 is the maximum amount we can accommodate to.
Are there any questions, other questions for Tim? I know some folks may have joined a little bit later, but if you do have any questions, you can either come off mute or put those in the chat. I'm also going to put TIFA's website in the chat again as well. And Tim, I know we're talking specifically about internships, but is there anything you can offer on the employment side? I think I regularly get emails from TIFA, or see you post on LinkedIn, about different opportunities that you are recruiting for. So is there anything that you can say about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so right now we are recruiting for a government relations manager. So if you are a few years out now, right, and have some experience with um, government relations, we are hiring for a government relations manager. So looking for some people who've had experience working at the federal level, understanding the legislative process and the regulatory process. Um, there are those opportunities. Another good resource, so TIFA, if you follow us on LinkedIn, we'll post those openings there on our Trust for America's Health LinkedIn page. But another good resource, just searching for public health opportunities, is also LIV Consulting. They cross post our postings all the time, in addition to, partner organizations that I've seen come up there. So, and yeah, really in terms of, right, TIFA opportunities, as I mentioned, it just kind of depends on um, if there's a new, if we get funding, right, and we have the opportunity to bring on new employees, there is always that opportunity. Or if our employees, right, are leaving and going off to other opportunities, that's usually when we'll see like a job opening. There is one more, and I do think it's posted right now for Director of Communications. That one where we're looking more for, right, 10 to 15 years of experience.
Great, thank you. Okay, are there any other questions for Tim?
Um, I have to get back to the international. We have had international students in the past. As long as you, yeah, I need to talk to the finance team on that. It's to say we have had international students intern with us, though, as long as they can meet W-2 workplace requirements. So all our interns are hired on as temporary employees. You do fill out a W-2 form. You are taxed on that as follows.
Is there an email that I guess Steve can follow up with on that about, can he email you or anyone else
Yeah,
at?
so you can send me the email with that question. I'll put my email here in the chat, and then I can direct that to the finance team.
Great, thank you. Okay, any other questions for Tim? I would say definitely look out for the internship posting. Yes, I have seen those on Handshake as well. And then I'm also signed up for the newsletter. So I get those emails. So we'll make sure that everything is approved for, our students to apply if they are interested, for sure.
Yep. Yeah, and we'll make that announcement in our newsletter when it goes out. And I can share with you all the subscription for our newsletter as well. It's a great resource. I would particularly say signing up for our Wellness and Prevention Digest if you want to stay on top of public health policy news happening. We post a lot of that there in our openings. And then if you want to get into more of the issue-specific areas, we have a few more newsletters. Our health security and preparedness newsletter, that one's sent out once a week, and that features news around infectious disease and emergency preparedness and things happening across the nation. We have our well-being working group newsletter. That one is similar, but focused on mental health. And then we have our age-friendly public health newsletter. Again, same as the other two, but focused on age-friendly public health issues. We'll also mention our internships in any one of those.
Great, thank you. If there aren't any other questions for Tim, or Tim, if you have any last words that you'd like to give to us, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I've shared, my email, so feel free to reach out anytime if you want to connect. Always happy to chat. I'll say on right, the application process, if you are interested, just keep an eye out for next week for when it opens. We do get a lot of applications. In years past, we've gotten up to 400 applications for an internship cycle. We do spend the time reviewing them all and scheduling internships. Usually within those, right, we're scheduling maybe about 5 to 7 first round interviews. So just know we are looking at them. We will give updates, through the internship process on where we land. But, we're not able to get through everyone, just given the volume that we get. So, and I'll say with that, right, don't discourage that. Just because you didn't, right, get an internship the first time, don't discourage that from applying again. We've had that happen too, where someone had applied once, didn't get it, they came back, reapplied, and they were with us the next time around.
That's good to hear, thank you. And the cover letter thing is important, so take time writing that cover letter.
That one I will stress a lot. Please, 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 please do the cover letters. We do stress that. You're shooting yourself in the foot if you're not following the instructions. It's an easy way when I'm going through my search process, as well as my colleagues. If you're not following, your application does get tossed aside.
Okay, thanks so much, Tim. That was extremely helpful, especially for, students to learn about the application process and what they, definitely need to look out for. So after this event, again, you all will receive a post-event email from Handshake with the information that was provided here today, along with the event recording. And just look out for the TIFA internship posting, but you can always subscribe so you get those, regular emails from TIFA as well, so you can stay up to date on what's going on. Okay, but thank you so much for joining and have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.